Another long-range king in the shop. This is the Tesway X5 Pro. It's next on the channel. Let's go. Alrighty, bikers, look at the Tesway X5 Pro, the Long Ranger. That's right, this thing is a long-range e-bike, thanks to that big battery. We'll get to that in a minute. $16.99 on Tesway's website. Put a link in the description for you. Comes in this black or red, and it's got the mag wheels, as you can see. Very nice look. I added a little food delivery bag in the back, so I can do some Uber Eats with this thing. And stay tuned for a video about that. I'm also going to compare it to the Ebike AQ177 I have, which also has the same size battery. It's a very similar e-bike, and I think they're both great for Uber Eats and DoorDash, things like that. All right, let's get to the specs of this e-bike. We are looking at a 1600 watt peak motor back here. I think it's 1000 watt. That peaks at 1600, and it has 100 newton meters of torque with that e-bike, with that motor. We're looking at a 52 volt, 60 amp hour battery. That's right, 5260. It's one of only a handful of e-bikes on the market with a battery of that size. Like I've covered them in the past, but this thing is a beast of an e-bike, and long range is what it's meant to do. But we'll get into that in a second. 30 miles an hour top speed. And the range on this thing claimed is 200 miles. And that's pretty accurate, I believe, because it's basically same specs as the Ebike. And I've confirmed that e-bike can go 200 miles and 100 miles on throttle alone. We do have a twist throttle up here on the right. And so that's what you're looking at here. So that's another reason why it's a great e-bike for food deliveries, because you never have to charge it, basically. You can go all day long. You can go 10 hours on this bike with no problem doing Uber Eats with it. So, and for that battery, you get a nice big 6 amp charger with a fan here. This is a really high-end charger, and it takes about 10 hours to charge with that thing. So it's a okay. Tires and brakes. You're looking at Kenda Crusades 20x4s with a pretty nice tread. I really like these tires. They're actually pretty grippy. They got a nice raised ridges here on these knobs here. I'm looking at a 180 millimeter rotor, pretty thick. Again, with these DY island brakes, same as they're on the Ebikes. They're pretty big brake pads, and they stop really well. This e-bike weighs, we'll get into the sizing, but it's a pretty hefty e-bike in terms of weight. And that's what you're looking at on the tires and brake side of things. They did send me a front cargo rack. It's just one of those flat ones that come out. I didn't put it on. You can also put a passenger seat back here with a little back to it. Or I had them send me the rack back here, the basket. This is 11 by 17, and it goes vertically here across the back. And it's a pretty sizable rack. It's actually a little bit bigger than the Ebike one I have, so it's about 2 inches longer from that perspective. So I was able to buy a bag That's about 11 by 16, I think. And it almost fits. It's snug, but I made it fit overall. Let's talk about sizing. So it fits riders 5'3" to 6'5". The bike weight 112 pounds. Now 30 of that is the battery. That's right. This thing weighs 30 pounds if you were to take it out. So you can lift weights with that thing. It's so heavy. And it also folds as well. It's a folding e-bike. One of only two 60 amp hour bikes that actually fold. I think G-Force has the other one, but it folds right there. We'll do that shortly. And what else can I tell you about the sizing? When it folds, it's 43 inches by 41 and a third. And the payload is 350 pounds. So it's pretty beefy e-bike in terms of what it can handle in terms of payload packages. Also, we are looking at a dual suspension e-bike. You've got that front suspension fork up front with a decent amount of travel. I think it's got lockout and preload over here. I think it's just a spring shock, to be honest with you. And then back here, you got these two big coil shocks here on the rear of the e-bike. It's pretty decent. I don't think you can adjust these at all. No, you can't. And there's the swing arm down here, so you can see that. But I've gone over bumps with it, and it sucks them up pretty well. So I'm pretty happy so far with that suspension. Here's a look at the cockpit. I added a mirror already, and also added a foam mount. I shifted over the display so I could put the foam mount on that second bar there. That's a nice little hack for you guys. Move your display over, and you can fit a foam mount like this on the e-bike. It's got a horn. Here's your twist throttle, locking grips, of course. Shimano 7-speed on the speeds there, locking grips. Here's your display, and here's your control. Here's your display. Here's your control pad. Not a big fan of this display. Probably one of my knocks against the e-bike. It's just there's no percentages of battery or voltage. It's a very, very basic display. It is colorful. It looks nice, but not much details here as far as specs and information goes on the e-bike itself and your trips. It's got, hit the I button. It's got odometer, max, and average, and that's really all you get. So far, I got 81 miles on the bike, and no issues so far out of the box. I did actually have to replace the chain ring here. It was one of the pedal arm was bent, and I think it was caused by the shipper. So I actually had one of these in my shop, so I just pulled it out and put a 52 tooth chain ring on it. It comes with a 48 though, so keep in mind there is some ghost pedaling back here on that Shimano tourney derailleur and that kind of very small cassette back there. You've got some front lighting up here, pretty basic overall. And back here you've got the tail lights that also acts as a brake light. See if I can get and when you press the brakes, the back light brightens up. It's a pretty bright rear tail light. And there is a key for the e-bike, and it has to be in the e-bike when you do ride. So there is an on position there, off, and then a unlock position right here. So folding e-bike with everything on it is pretty hard. There's a lot of weight in that back area. It's definitely back heavy here, rear heavy. So I'd recommend taking off the battery when you do want to fold it. It'll make your life much easier. I've also got a rack back there, so that also makes it even heavier. I'll show you a picture on the screen of what the e-bike looks folded up. Again, 43 inches by 41, roughly. So it's probably not something you're going to do a lot with this e-bike because it is so heavy. Again, you're looking at 112 pounds of e-bike, and that's a lot. That's basically like 30 pounds heavier than most e-bikes out there. All right, let's go do a speed test, hill test, and check out more of this e-bike has to offer. Going over some bumps here, so feeling that rear suspension kick in. Gotta love it. The tires are not too loud. You can definitely hear them, but I've been pleased with them so far. Haven't had Kenda Crusades in a while on a bike. On a bike like this, you want grippy tires, so I wouldn't recommend street tires because know, on wet surfaces. I think you'll get more grip with something knobby. The bike's not fully charged, but I mean, this battery is so big, it doesn't matter. So again, 10 hours to charge, but you get that 6 amp charger to just plug it in overnight. You'll probably plug this thing in once a week and you'll be fine. Put it in PS5 here. We'll test out throttle off the line here, crossing the street. It's always one of my favorite use cases of the throttle, of course. And of course there's a guy doing blowing over here, so it's going to be a little noisy. I will say, I think this bike is slightly quicker than the Ebike because get past this guy here. Even though it's not lighter in terms of weight, it is lighter. It feels lighter. It's actually, well, it feels more maneuverable because you've got a single fork here versus the twin fork of that Ebike. And so it just feels a little bit more agile than the Ebike. It just feels a little more cumbersome overall. I run PS1 here, doing 12 miles an hour. PS2, kicked it up a notch there. We're doing 15.8. PS3, we're at 21, 22. GPS is about a mile off. Let's keep going here. PS4. And 24. PS5. Here we go. 25. All right, no one's coming. Don't yell at me. Check both ways. There's 27. Almost 28. Gotta turn around here. Saw 27.9 there. We'll do one more top speed run over here at the next street. Well, yeah, this thing is maneuverable for its size. Throttle only. Let's try that. 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. This thing does go 30 though. I don't have long streets here, so trying up the throttle again here. It's 24. Yeah, GPS is about 1 mile off. 27, 28, and we have a hill here, so alright, I'll get to 30, don't worry, I'll figure it out. In the meantime, let's go do a hill test. 29, 30. Alright, let's try this again. Throttle only this time. Here we go. GPS says 27, 28. Alright, maybe it's not quite as fast as they say, but close enough, right? Okay, here's our hill test. We're just throttle only in this test. It's not a bike you're going to want to pedal up a hill. I mean, you could. The one thing, this bike has 7 gears, so it actually helps on these hills. And on hills is really the only time you don't get ghost pedaling. You can actually you get tons of resistance here. So as I'm pedaling right now, getting throttling and getting resistance. So let's just keep the throttle going. I'll stop pedaling. Again, a 1,000-watt motor, peaks at 1,600, 100 newton meters of torque. Doesn't feel that torquey though. Maybe it's because it's so heavy. 100 newton meters of torque is a lot for an e-bike. And most of them are like 50, 60 newton meters. Alright, we're at 15. It's going to get steep right here. So I don't think we should break 10. Well, that's with pedaling, but I normally do. We're gonna break 10 there. It's struggling a bit here. I'm gonna help it a little bit. Drop the gear down. 7. So, okay. So it's throttle only, not the greatest hill climber, but it does the job overall. So, all right, there's one more hill up here. This one's pretty steep as well. I'm gonna pedal here. I'm in PS5. I'm in 4th gear. This is a shorter hill, but it's definitely got a nice steep to it. So pedaling 12, 11, 10. Yeah, crested at 10.5 there. Not bad at all. So there's a little downhill run. Test the brakes at the end. This thing has pretty thick brake pads. Those DY Island brakes. It's got the little knobs here. You can twist those to bring the levers closer to you. There's the horn again. Okay, yeah, this thing is cruising. Ooh, whoa. Did not see that guy. Let's turn around and finish that brake run. It's at 0. Yeah, those trees there hid that driveway on me. No squeaking on the brakes so far, so that's a good sign. There's 30. Hit the brakes. Nice. Gotta squeeze them a little bit hard, but yeah, they work pretty well. Alright, there's your X5 Pro from Tesway. By the way, it comes in a step-over version as well. Check out Alex over at Maximum Charges channel. He's got the step-over version. He's about to do a review on that, I believe. So shout out to Alex. It's the same bike, just with a step-over frame. Traditional kind of folding step-over. So, dislikes about the bike. Let's see here. So definitely the ghost pedaling is an issue. You know, a simple, better 11 to 28 tooth freewheel would help that. I don't know why these makers don't get with the times there and get rid of this ghost pedaling. Even though this is a bike you're going to throttle mostly, I'd still want resistance on the pedals there at those high speeds. I put a 52.2 chainring on there because the pedal was bent in shipping, not their fault. What else? A lot of the branding's a little much for me. I mean, I'm probably gonna take the sticker off on the fork there. I could have done without this white stripe on there. I like simple branding. It's actually a nice kind of what do you call it? You can see the different colors there in the sun. With the Tesway, it's kind of fluorescent or iridescent sticker there. Same thing with the X5 Pro. It changes colors in the light. The light's pretty lame. I mean, it's a really small light. The Ebike comes with a better one. I do like the little badging they got up front there. The handlebars are fairly compact here. They're pretty short in terms of just the length of them. Would have seen a little bit, maybe another inch on each end. For a little more wider grip on them. And what else? The seat is comfortable with those dual shocks back there, so that's not a problem. Again, you get a basic derailleur. Those are about it for the dislikes overall. Likes, again, great power. And it says it goes 30. Each GPS is a little bit lower than that. I do like the overall just look of the bike. I think it's pretty nice. I don't know about the red, but the mag wheels, definitely awesome. Gotta like that. The tires are great. They got that reflective stripe on here, strip, again for additional safety there. And you know, I think if you're, you know, and this bike to me is it's cargo all the way. You can put a passenger seat back there. They sent me one as well, but I love these e-bikes with these big batteries because they're just massively perfect for cargo. And I think if you're gonna do Uber Eats, you should do it on one of these big battery long range e-bikes, because they're perfect for that. The big question is, what kind of racks do they have? And these guys have a decently sized rack. You can fit a couple of things in here. You can fit 2 bags in here essentially, so you can put two Uber Eats orders in there if you need to. And I do like the size of that rack overall. It's got a nice look to it. Here is the Tesway. Teswaybike.com is their URL. Again, I'll link in the description. Here's a look at those big brake pads down here. What's cool about these brakes too is that you just unscrew this little Allen bolt right here. You can pull the brake pads out and replace them, so you never have to take off the caliper itself. That's a really nice touch as well. You can't adjust the back shocks. Here's the key. Got a little keychain for it, so when I do my Uber Eats runs, I just stop at the place, take the key out, bring it with me, easy peasy. And here's your folding pedals. These are not the greatest pedals in the world, but they'll do for now. I'll see how else I outfit this thing, but that's your Tesway X5 Pro, $16.99. I think for what you get, that's a great value, guys. And good looking e-bike. Get a step over version as well. That's it for now, guys. Stay tuned for more coming to Crisscrossed. I'm out.